So, The Art of Not Giving a Fuck. This book suggests that you shouldn't give a fuck about things. And you said that you give fuck that sounds wrong. You give too many damn fucks that really doesn't matter in your life. However, I suggest that I wanted to say something different than in this book, but I understand the message, what it's saying. In the book, it said, chances are you know somebody in your life who at one time or another did not give a fuck and then went on to accomplishing accomplish amazing feats. So the masses, the general population in America, they give too many fucks about the things that really doesn't move them into action or moving their dreams or goals and having momentum. And a goal, a dream, is just an idea, right? And you haven't built immersion or momentum in it because you have not pushed yourself enough uh, to give a fuck about that. Your dream matters because in life we let the things are the things that okay, so everything around us, surround us, right? They're trivial, and we give them too many fucks, right? And but the thing that should push us forward is we should give a fuck about our dreams, our hopes, and the things that we want to do in life, because that would create momentum. The problem is we haven't create enough that spring. I call it this. There's because in most people don't start because they give a fuck about things that their fears. They give a fuck about that. Their what other people are gonna say. They give a fuck about that. What other people gonna think of them. They give a fuck about that. Their environment that hold them that they give a fuck about that because they see that every single day, so they give a fuck about that, right? So what end up happening is their pain in the immediate right now hold them back instead of using the pain of regret or the future where imagine this, if you will, right? That right now, imagine this. Close your eyes or whatever you do. Imagine that you're on your deathbed, or you're coughing up blood, or you're in a car accident, or you're in some situation that's so worse and you're about to die. Imagine what you're gonna think. Are you gonna think that you're not gonna think about those people who um, uh, what they think about you. You're not gonna give a fuck about the environment that you are at. You're not gonna give a. You're gonna only imagine. Did you spend time with your family? Did you say I loved you to them? Did you say uh, what matters to you? Because you know, at the end of your life, you're not gonna give a two fuck about the things that you did do, but you're gonna give a fuck about what you didn't do. Because what you didn't do will eat away at you forever. Because those things that you have regrets, it weighs tons and ounces, and it will pull you down. And that's what happened to many people, because they give two fuck about what is gonna happen if I do this. Oh, if I do this, right? And then I'm gonna and some horrible shit happen. Well, if you don't do this, you're never gonna find out, right? You're never gonna find out what you're capable of. That's the problem, right? The problem is when you should give a fuck about. See, people talk about the world is very negative. Well, if the world is negative, well, you should give a fuck about it and change it little by little, right? Inject it with positivity. Change it, right? If you don't like it. Otherwise, you're complaining for the waste of time. So basically, you're giving fuck about the things that really doesn't matter, right? We have so many fucks, but the fuck that matters is the things that will move you into action, right? I see this too many often in the law of attraction community. They give too many fucks about techniques and vibrations and all these spiritual fluff that really doesn't move a needle. I'm telling you, these things are just titles, just knowledge from someone who learning from someone. The history of occult and alchemy is very beautiful. The knowledge, you can teach it, but the thing is, if you keep in your head, it really doesn't move the needle, right? And the way I see this is, right, when you're moving towards your dream, you're giving fuck about it, because that's your life. If you don't give a fuck about it, then you won't do nothing about it, right? If you don't give a fuck about things that matters to you, those things that matters to you, it the way I see it is this, right? If you say that you really want this, then you should give enough fuck to move like arrows and to hit a target. So most of the time, people have goals, right? You should have goals, but you should also let the arrow shoot. Wait, what is it? Nah, you gotta let it go and swing it, right? You gotta not swing it, but how you say that shit? I remember I used to have I saw people have like slingshots. I remember those days, man, slingshot. But in order to create momentum, you have to push yourself backwards, or the whatever that shit backwards, and let it spring, and it shoot forward. So you have, so you're something that have to like inside of you, it had to be a spring load, right? It got to be a spring, and it got to launch you forward, no matter what the obstacle is. You got to launch your because you have. It's like this: if we don't give a fuck about the world, right, nothing changes. Right? If we don't give a fuck about the cause, we don't change it. So for me, I give a fuck about a lot of things. That's why I move into action, because I give a fuck. Because nobody wants to say the things that they want to say on the YouTube. Because if you give too many fucks on the wrong things, you're wasting time. And those wasted time, you could have built a dream, and yet you give fucks about what people say. You give fucks about the environment. You should, when it comes to your customer, and you can tweak it a little bit. You can make it better. But at the end of your life, for God's sake, time. Like, you either use time as your ally, or you use time as an enemy. Because time can be a powerful tool, indicator to push you forward. So you have to use yourself as a spring, something that really push you forward, something that really make you tick. For me, the reason why I push myself to this limit, to this far, because I give a fuck about things. I give a fuck about a cause. I give a fuck because it matters to me. I give a fuck because I want to change something in the status quo of the law of attraction. Because I give a fuck about it. Because I'm tired. I'm tired of this bullshit. Like, there's too many damn fluff. It's fine, but when those things that doesn't help you to move forward and it's holding you back, I don't know. Something needs to change. Those ideas that was out there, you need to change it. Those things that, so there's ideas, knowledge that has the potential to spring you forward and sling you forward and hit the target, or those ideas or knowledge are like anchor, right? They anchor you and they hold you down. So which one are you going to give a fuck about? Those ideas or knowledge or circumstances, the people will hold you down and you won't sling forward, or the people that you surround yourself with, positive thinking, whatever, positive optimism, will sling you forward. It's up to you to decide to give a fuck about. Man, that was a lot of so many goddamn fuck, man. Those moments of in the book said, those moments of non-fuckery are the moments that most define our life. Whether you realize or not, you're always choosing what to give a fuck about. Now, most people don't really don't understand it. I don't know. But the most proudest moments, achievements, are in the face of greatest adversity. Every time I think about it, the most proudest moment of my life are the one that I actually achieve. Not someone handed to me, not when it come easy, but when I try my best, when I give my time and effort. Time, effort, and energy are commitments to things. And that means I give a fuck about a cause, so it pushed me to wanting to change people's life. Because I give a fuck. So when I give a fuck and push myself and pressure myself to do it, that was my proudest moment. Those things, right? Our pain often make us stronger, most resilient, more grounded. To not give a fuck about adversity, you must first give a fuck about something more important than adversity. The things that it matters in your life, you will blast through it, through the obstacle, through the hard time, through what seemed like hardship and failures to you, right? You're gonna move through it, right? Because you're like water. Water don't give a actually, water do give a fuck if you're in this way, and it's gonna fucking fuck you up, and it's gonna blast that shit out, right? But the thing is, waters don't give a fuck. Water's just calm. But when it's powerful, oh, it's gonna give a fuck. Anything that's getting in your way, it's gonna fuck you up. So today, one thing is, use the ideas and knowledge or the things that you give a fuck about to spring you forward. 2, let go of the things that really doesn't really matter or move the needle, and that it really shouldn't give a fuck about. Like, you shouldn't really give a fuck. 4, have momentum on your dreams or ideas or goal. Otherwise, because if you don't have those, if it doesn't move you forward because you don't give enough fuck about it, you gotta have tons of fucks about it. So, and 3, pressure yourself to do the things that you give a fuck about. Otherwise, you won't do them. Because I don't like, people think that it's okay to let yourself off. It's okay. But if it really matters, you shouldn't let yourself off. You should make that. It's like a fucking bottle, right? Have you seen a soda bottle, right? Even though most people don't, they probably drink that in their life, right? Have you seen those bottles that have really inside have pressure, right? And it's ready to pop. It's like that, right? It's like this. You're a bottle and you're about to pop. Well, that should be your fucking goal, right? Your goal or dream should be a fucking bottle. It's about to pop. Boosh! Because you give a fuck and it bursts. And it, like, the fucking shit come flowing out. That's what it should be. You're about to explode, like your ideas, your dreams. Boom! And there you go. That's it for today's. The things that you should give a fuck about, there's things that you shouldn't give a fuck about. You should give a fuck about changing the world. You should give a fuck about making people important. You should give a fuck about the good things, not the bad thing. You should change it. Otherwise, that's it today.